segueing into the NBA, we got the final stretch of the regular season. The play-in tournament is a month and a half away. Not a month, like a week away. And the Denver Nuggets are on fire. We talked about this a little last week. We're going to go into more detail now. They're undefeated since the trade deadline. They're riding a 7-game win streak. That's the most in the NBA after the Suns lost last night to the Clippers. And they're now 4th in the West. They just leapfrogged the Lakers this week. So, Joe, after this Gordon trade, what is their ceiling this year? We talked about if they were legitimate title contenders. We kind of teased the possibility. What's their ceiling for you?
Well, it's hard because, they're always in that they're in that conversation like for the past 3 years by now. And each year they kind of just disappoint. Although last year fans got a glimmer of hope, just that 3-1 lead for the Lakers last year. And then LeBron James called Jamal Murray's girlfriend and then, got it kicked off, as we all know.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I can see their ceiling being 2 seed.
Fair enough. What about playoff wise?
I can honestly see the West Conference Finals.
Fair enough.
They did it last year. Why can't they do it this year?
Do you see any potential to go beyond that, or do you think that there are other teams?
Good? At this moment in time, I might. This is going to sound crazy, but it's the team I'm sticking with right now. It's not Utah, but I'm kind of going. I'm on the Phoenix hype train right now.
And as you should be. They're playing for the best basketball of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the ceiling is in doubt. This is going to sound crazy. This team can win an NBA championship. It can. Like, legitimately, if everything breaks right, Nikola Jokic could have a Finals MVP trophy in his closet by July. Here's my thing on this. Those Nuggets teams were cute. They were trendy, especially in 18-19. They were the 2 seed, but people were like, like they're cute, they're trendy, they had a good regular season, but they're not going to do anything. And then Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum put them in a coffin. The next year, it was a little cuter, but we still were like, I really don't see it. LeBron James and Anthony Davis took control of things. That was a harder matchup. But here's the thing.
Cheated.
They got Murray's girlfriend kicked out of the bubble. Whatever conspiracy you want to subscribe to, I just think LeBron James beat him. But anyway, this Nuggets team, with the way the West is set up and how open it is because of LeBron and AD being banged up and so much uncertainty being around AD, if they get the right matchups and the Lakers get taken out, I think they'll have a problem beating the Lakers straight up. But if the Lakers get taken out, I absolutely could see the Denver Nuggets winning the NBA Finals. And that sounds insane, but here are the facts, right? The biggest issue with the Denver Nuggets was consistent defense. You know what they did? They traded for it. They traded for it in Aaron Gordon, one of the most athletic end-to-end defenders in the league. He's really quick, switchable. We've seen these monster lineups kind of come into shape and just dominate teams where you have Aaron Gordon at the 4 and Nikola Jokic at the 5. And Gordon's so flexible. He can pretty much play at 3-4, even small ball 5 if things get wonky. With Jokic playing out of his mind, best season of his career, undisputed MVP right now, in my opinion, I genuinely could see this team having the mettle to win tough playoff games. And the thing people will say is, all right, Sam, when they get down and they're in trouble, how are they going to respond? And, we've seen glimpses of it. They've been down against numerous teams in pretty steep deficits. Yes, one was against the Magic, but they were in steep deficits against some teams during this win streak. And they overcame it. They clamped down on the defensive end and did it. The big question for me is, can they just do that against the upper tier of the West? And that's what we're going to see. But I think right now, this team could absolutely win the finals if things break right.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have anything to say about teams that maybe you think will beat the Nuggets here? What are we looking at?
I think I said the Suns already. So, because honestly, I think Utah might be one of those first 1 seeds that are overrated a bit. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're great, but
the question is if the game
they just don't look like a finals team. But Phoenix, something about them I like. So I think they could beat Denver. I think Denver could beat LA in this current playoff standing with the 4-5 game.
especially if
Um,
AD is banged up.
yeah, and that is a big maybe at this point. Like, I don't trust AD in the playoffs after last year. Now, like, there's the whole thing. But yeah, I think they could definitely be a finalist team. I
Fair enough.
totally agree with you. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Joe. The next question. I think we're both in agreement on this because I
Yeah.
tweeted my MVP power rankings. I revised a list that was completely broken and disgraceful. It didn't have Embiid in the top 10. And I was like, you need to just delete your account. Not you didn't tweet this, obviously. This is some random basketball
Oh
reference.
yeah, thanks. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as I didn't tweet it. I mean,
Joe Kane isn't crazy enough to say this blasphemy. But we both agree on this. Do you think Nikola Jokic is a lock for MVP at this stage of the year?
I would have to say so. And honestly, the main way I'm thinking about it is like he's been playing great all season. But on top of that, he hasn't been injured, you know?
Yeah.
Like guys like LeBron, Embiid, and like who else?
I mean, even
Yeah.
I mean LeBron, Embiid. I mean, Harden's
Those are actually just the two big ones. So like
Durant obviously has been hurt.
yeah. But that gave Harden time to shine and
Yeah.
put him
Now
high
Harden's
on.
hurt.
He's hurt.
No, Harden has a hamstring strain.
Oh, okay. That's not that long.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think right now he is the definite lock for MVP. If he doesn't win, if the season ended today and he didn't win MVP, it would be it'd be outrageous. It would be more outrageous if he didn't win MVP this year than LeBron being snubbed last year.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's just not that much competition right now due to injuries and all that.
I agree with you. I think he's kind of taken Embiid. I'm going to say this right now. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, I thought Joel Embiid was the MVP of the year. Granted, I flip flopped on this a million times since the start of the year. I thought it was LeBron. Then I thought it was Curry for 2 weeks. Then I thought it was Embiid. Now I think it's Jokic. But you look at Jokic's numbers, they are insanely impressive 26.3 a night, 10.9 rebounds, 8.7 assists. That's fifth in the league as a center. And he's shooting 42.2% from three and 57%, or fifth, he's shooting 57.1% from the field. Like, you're not going to get those numbers from anyone else in the league right now. And he's healthy. And the Nuggets are surging up the standings now. So the only counter argument against him was the team wasn't good enough. Well, he's in fourth place in the West and surging. So there is no question for me. Nikola Jokic has been the most valuable player in basketball this season. I don't think there's much anybody can do to change it at this point.
Yep. Totally agree.
Joe Kane and I in
What's
early
next?
agreement.
Yeah, what's next?
All right. It said best or worst matchups for them in the playoffs. We've touched on that. You say the Suns. I think the Nets would be a pretty bad matchup for them just because offensively, I don't think that they'd be able to be stopped by anybody.
That's of course assuming they make the finals, but yeah.
And I mean, I think the Lakers, when healthy, are a terrible matchup for them. Just because it's LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but and Drummond in the mix and how deep they are now. But the thing is, the Lakers might not even match up with them because they're plummeting without LeBron, without AD. Drummond's been banged up. He just came back this week. There's a lot with the Lakers that you can't gamble on right now.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you want to see our last video, click here. If you want to see our next video, click here. And if you want to subscribe, click on my face.